Steam Deck verification is a double-edged sword. When I say a game is Steam Deck verified, it should evoke a sense of, oh, this game just works. No issues whatsoever. It should just be like buying a game for your console, putting it in your console, and it just works, right? And for the most part, there are plenty of verified titles that do work that way. Many of the Steam Deck verified games I tend to recommend to my viewers, they work great. They work out of the box. But as of recently, there's been a bunch of controversy surrounding the Steam Deck verification system, namely how unreliable it is at times. Some games get Steam Deck verified, even if they really shouldn't be. Case in point being a very recent release, Remnant 2. Remnant 2 works on Steam Deck and it definitely runs. The big issue here though is performance. As you may have imagined, the game does not run well. I haven't played it myself, but I've seen enough videos to know that it doesn't run well. As pointed out by a friend of the channel, Timo Schmidt from the Deckverse, even so far as adding hair to your character makes the menus lag, like literally over half the FPS. I mean, I guess it makes sense, having hair and hair simulation is more taxing on your CPU and GPU and whatnot. I wouldn't want to be forced to make my character bald so I can play the game at a playable frame rate. My online characters tend to look like Sasuke from Naruto. Many of my friends and colleagues believe that Remnant 2 should not have been Steam Deck verified, but then you have people point out that Steam Deck verified doesn't take into account performance, but I can verifiably prove them wrong. As officially stated by Valve in the Steamworks page for developers, Steam Deck verification has a little thing called default configuration. The game must ship with a default configuration on deck that results in a playable frame rate. What this means is that apparently developers must ship a game that plays at an acceptable frame rate, out of the box, without tinkering with graphics and whatnot. But what Valve considers to be a quote-unquote playable frame rate is up to question, because apparently Remnant from the Ashes is considered Steam Deck verified, therefore it must fulfill that requirement, right? You can reach 30 FPS on Remnant 2, but you have to fiddle with the settings a lot. You lower all the graphical details, you lower the resolution below the Steam Deck's native resolution, and then on top of that you enable FSR as well. For the average gamer that may not be a PC gamer, that's a lot to ask of them, and even still, there are plenty of times where the game dips below 30 FPS. Not to mention, you sacrificed graphics. Yeah, I know, graphics isn't that important, but still. Honestly, I would just wait till the game gets optimized. At least until a game can run it at a minimum of 30 FPS. Like, okay, many PC gamers will say that 30 FPS is unacceptable, right? I mean, I don't blame them. You spend like $1,000 on a great gaming PC, you should be able to play games at 60 FPS minimum. But the Steam Deck isn't a $1,000 PC, it's not even a $1,000 gaming desktop. It doesn't even have a dedicated GPU. It's smaller than most gaming laptops. Heck, I would even say it's smaller than most laptops, period. And it's got a lower resolution to boot as well. All I'm saying is, it's not a super powered gaming machine. It's already quite remarkable what it can accomplish with its relatively weak hardware. So while Remnant 2 was the first game that really kicked off this new controversy, this has been a thing since before the Steam Deck even released. Linus Tech Tips can attest to it.
Horizon Zero Dawn is a verified title on the Steam Deck. The first 5 hours of the game though, solid 30 FPS, great experience. After about 5 hours in, I started getting all manner of weird issues. First, I started running into these issues like after 2 continuous hours of gameplay, where I would get stuttering down to like 1 FPS.
Yikes.
For 10, 30 seconds at a time. And then it would like catch up.
Oh, it does the like fast forward thing.
A little bit, not quite.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if it was a cutscene. It would be like, but like not all the time was accounted for. It was very strange.
Right, yeah.
Like I wouldn't miss anything. Even if it was only a short, I don't know. Yeah, super weird.
Okay.
I saw game crashes, just hard crash back to Steam interface. I even saw black screen, device unresponsive, Steam button does nothing, quick access menu does nothing, long press power button, full reboot is the only way to solve it. And the problem for me is that those, as I got into the late game, started to come up every 20 minutes or so, which is pretty bad. Everything from worse stutters to completely game-breaking, like progress losing issues.
Those-
I have gotten more game crashes in my playthrough of Horizon Zero Dawn than I've probably had with every game all combined in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
In fairness to Horizon Zero Dawn and Guerrilla Games and to Sony, this was during the Steam Deck's pre-release. How much of it was Horizon Zero Dawn before it got fixed, and how much of it was the Steam Deck before it got updates? I couldn't tell you. The Steam Deck has gotten a number of updates, with its biggest one coming sometime eventually, I hope. On the topic of updates, let's talk about Steam Deck updates and game updates and how they relate to the Deck Verified program. One of my favorite examples to bring up is DBZ Kakarot, a game that since the release of the Steam Deck was marked as unsupported. Is it possible that DBZ Kakarot actually deserved the unsupported rating at first? Maybe. But a combination of Steam Deck updates, Proton updates, and potentially game updates allows the Steam Deck to run DBZ Kakarot basically perfectly. DBZ Kakarot needs to be retested because the test result, well, it's outdated. So yes, no doubt, this game needs to be retested for Steam Deck verification. But the question is, who initiates the process? Does Valve just pick and choose games to retest, or do developers submit games to be tested and retested once again? The whole Steam Deck verification system is a mess. It should have been an easy win. The criteria to be verified is already laid out for all of us, including developers, but the entire testing methodology that Valve employs is just one big question mark. It's a black box that no one knows the contents of. I didn't make this video to bash the Steam Deck verification system. I think it's a great idea on paper, but I think what it's really missing is some transparency. More insights as to how the verification testing actually works. Because truth be told, I would love to see Valve's testing methodology for a game like Remnant 2, a game that's known to have performance issues on the Steam Deck as of the time of this video. Will the game get updated? I'm sure it will, but the fact of the matter is Remnant 2 launched at a pretty poor state on Steam Deck. I also want to see the effects of verification on a game's sales, if verified titles sell more or not. If you liked this video, be sure to press the thumbs up button and spread the good gospel of high-tech lowlife. And if you want to see more high-tech lowlife, be sure to subscribe and press the bell icon for notifications. And for you enlightened individuals, be sure to join my Discord server. And if you wish to support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description down below.